today I'm making this little coat hook. Actually, I've been making quite a few with all different pieces of wood. This is a new piece of wood. This one is a reclaimed piece of wood that did have paint all over it, but they all turn out really, really nice. The effect is fantastic. So I'll show you how to do that effect. But first of all, because I'm upcycling, all of my coat hooks I've got paint all over. I mean, you can buy these new and spray paint them and do whatever, but I've got recycled ones here, so I'll show you what I'm doing. With the bigger pieces of paint, I've got a slightly rougher sandpaper just to get those bigger pieces off. And then when I've done that, I will get a really soft, this one's really soft, it's been used a lot and there's hardly any grit left on it, so it's really sort of just polishing it up really, and just going over the end of the hook. Underneath these old hooks, it is sort of like a copper plate, so I mean you don't need to have much pressure because you don't want to then go through the copper plate. So we'll just do this all over until it's really, really nice, and I'll do all of these hooks here. Buff it all up till, as you can see, it starts to look a bit more like that. Obviously just buff it and shine it up, and then what we're going to do is get some tape and tape over the copper area to where you want it. Just make sure it's all covered up, and then I'm going to line them all up and spray paint them black. Obviously, if you're doing a different colour theme, you go with whatever colour you want. I'm just using a standard black. I'll show you the can. What I've got is this one, only because it's what I found in the garage. I assume my husband's been using it. It's worked really well. It's come out nice. It's covered very well. But again, you can use any black spray paint. You can get satin, a matte, and this one is gloss. So yeah, any black spray paint. I've also gone over this area just to make sure there's a nice sort of key and there's no dirt. You can use sort of like a soap just to make sure there's no dirt and grime on it before you spray it. And then I've lined them all up. I've done like a whole batch in one go and sprayed them, and then let it dry, and that's how they come out. They look fantastic. They've come out really nicely. And with some of my bigger ones, again a bit dusty, but there you go, that's how they've come out, and I'm really pleased with them. Chipped it a bit there. There you go, really pleased with how they've come out, and they look just fantastic on this wood here. So there we go. Once all that's done, I'll show you how to do the wood. These are the I assume it was a floorboard or tongue groove board at some point. Someone then has made it into this coat hook, and it's had hooks all over it like this. So obviously that's where I've got these hooks from. So then to recycle this, I've used my heat gun and I've scraped off all of the paint, and it's left it like this. So then I'm going to use my sander. I've used a standard 80 grit on my Bosch mouse sander, and I've sanded all this down. Now, I've also done this process on standard pine that was brand new, and it has worked the same. I've lightly sanded it, and then when I've come to the edges to give it that sort of rustic look, I've sanded the corners off the edges, and sometimes I've sanded extra sections on the side to make dips, which can really give it a bit of character. I'll show you on this one here how it's dipped right in here, and for that I've used my chisel, and where the tongue and groove is, I have chiseled off my tongue and groove, sometimes gouging bigger areas than others, and then sanded it all and really rounded it off with the sander, and it's made some really nice sort of undulations on the wood, making it look really rough and old. So you can even do that with new wood, even if it hasn't got a tongue and groove edge. Literally just, you know, chisel areas out and then sand it and sand it and sand it till it's really smooth, and that gives a really good aged effect to the wood. So that's what I've done on these. And then I'll show you what I'm doing to get the nice effect on the wood. So with my heat gun, this was only about anything from 20 to 30 pounds for this heat gun, which I thought was really good. Got it off Amazon. So let that heat up for a minute, and then I've gone over my edges first, and then just hold it over the wood quite low and slow, and steadily bring it along the wood. Obviously the longer you hold it on, the darker the effect is going to be. Sometimes it does bring a bit of resin up, which is absolutely fine. And I'll go back the other way. You want to try and keep a nice even flow as you go across the wood board. And you can play around with this, do some testing first on old pieces of wood, but I just love it so much. It sort of gives it that nice aged look. It brings out the pattern on the wood. I just love the effect it gives. It's so nice. You can do this all with a heat gun as well. So, you know, you can take your paint off and do this effect. And then some bits you might want a bit more on, so just go over a second time until you get the effect you're after. So there we go. Careful is hot after you've first done it, but oh my god, it gives such an amazing effect. I absolutely love it. And to finish this off, before I put my hooks on, I use some furniture wax. I got this from my local shop. I mean, any furniture wax will do that you have. And go over it, and honestly, this just brings it up amazingly. Probably best to just let it cool down a little bit before you do it. But for the sake of filming, I've done it like that. So there you go. Do all your edges and then give it a good buff up, and you've got a beautiful piece of wood which brings out the grain, looks fantastic. And then with the hooks on, that's how it's looking. So I can't wait to put these up for coat hooks in my house. I've literally just moved house as well. This is why I'm doing this project, because I think they just look amazing. So there you go. I hope you have a go at this project. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more DIYs. Thanks for watching.